Hey everyone, Selwyn here from winstrength.com, bringing you a quick recipe that'll be easy to make and should take under 30 minutes to cook. It'll be some vegetables and some ground turkey, so here we go. First step will be to dice up some onion. You can use whatever type of onion you like. We just had some red onion on sale, so you can slice it however you want. Just going with a rough chop here. As you can see, pretty rough chop, nothing too crazy or fancy here, because we are going to cook it down and it's going to dissolve in a little bit, so no big pieces, but for the most part we're going to cook it down and brown it a little bit, so you don't have to be too concerned with having that finely chopped. So we do have the pan, it's been heating up on a medium to low heat. Just a little bit of oil, let's use some olive oil. Let's get that around. And we'll just throw that into the pan and let it cook down. Generally with these recipes, I like to cook the onion a little bit longer than everything else just because it removes some of that harshness. So we're just going to stir that around, let it soften down. Maybe a little bit of color, we don't want too much color on there, but we do want to get that harshness out of the onions there. So we also are going to add some garlic into this. You can never have too much garlic. So the easiest way I found to cut up garlic is to just grab the clove whole and then hit it with the knife, broadside down. Just work our way through each of the cloves. And then what you want to do is that should pretty much peel it by itself. Unwrap the paper and you'll be good to go. So all the garlic's been peeled and they're pretty much crushed. So just like the onions, we just want to roughly chop them. And there you go, some roughly chopped garlic. We'll throw that in there as well pretty soon. I'll give that a quick stir as well. We'll put the heat up to probably medium heat now. So the fumes coming off those onions. Oh, tear up a little bit. So we're going to add a bell pepper. Pretty much any vegetable you have in the house is going to work with this. I like to cut open the top. And then just pull that out and you're pretty much good. Give it a little tap and most of the seeds will come out there, so that makes preparation super easy. Just kind of want to take the inner pit out just to remove some bitterness from the bell pepper now. That's the catch. So again, just like before, nothing fancy, we're just going to do a rough chop. Now, unlike the other vegetables, I will add these towards the end so we retain some crunch in the bell pepper. I don't like them too soggy, but personal preference. If you want to feel like them more cooked, throw them in right now and you'll be good. So we're going to set those off to the side for now. Keep stirring these onions up. So the onions are starting to soften down. We're going to throw in our ground meat for today, our protein. I'm just using some 93% lean ground turkey. You can use whatever meat you like, ground turkey, beef, chicken, pork, literally anything. This was on special today, so we're using some ground turkey. I like to go with a little bit of a higher fat content with the ground beef. It adds a little flavor to the meat rather than that super lean. And I find if it's too lean, I'll end up putting some extra oil in the pan to cook it. So having that 7% fat there is really good. Again, nothing fancy with this. So make sure the hands are clean, no cross-contamination. We are dealing with some raw poultry here, so we're just going to break up the ground beef as ground meat. I don't know why this is beef. We're going to break up the ground meat as much as possible. And now we want to turn the heat up a little bit, so to really want to sear and get that nice browning on the turkey here. And while we're stirring it in, now is the perfect time to add seasonings. I don't really like to add the seasonings too early in the cooking process. I find that the heat sometimes kills the flavor if it cooks too much on the pan. So right when I put the meat in and stir it a little bit, now's when I'll add some flavorings, and you just use whatever you want. I like a little salt all the time. And then some Umami seasoning from Trader Joe's. Has been nice lately. Sprinkle that. And then finally, the powerhouse seasoning is some Garni from the Garlic Festival. So just sprinkle that in there. And I like to under-season for the most part because you can always add some more once it's cooked. But if you have a good base of flavors going in, and nothing worse than an over-seasoned dish. So, especially if you're cooking for multiple people, some people like theirs salty, some people don't. So if you kind of under-salt it and then let you salt it afterwards. So because we are cooking some ground meat, you do want to be sure to make sure there are no more uncooked meat there, and that really means you have to just stir it constantly to make sure that the heat touches all of the produce here. Especially when it comes to turkey or chicken, you don't want that. No one wants food poisoning. So I like to add a little bit of heat when I cook, not too much. This is a cool little hot sauce from Hawaii, some Adobo Loco Hawaiian hot sauce. Maui no Ka'eo. Anyway, it's made with some Trinidad Moruga scorpion peppers. A little bit of this goes a long way. I think this is almost a year old. I keep it in the fridge just because I know I didn't use that often, but literally just going to be boom boom, and that's going to be it. There's the amount of spice that I like in this. So now we have the turkey's pretty much almost cooked. We just want to cook off some of that liquid that comes out of it, and now's the time where I like to add in the bell peppers, just because it's not going to get overcooked by the time this is done. So there we go. It's still on a medium to high heat now that everything's kind of cooked and there's no more uncooked meat. And that just takes you just stirring it around, making sure that there's no uncooked particles in here. So I like to cut the top off and then just slice it down the middle. And then because all the heat is in the seeds in the pit, we just want to cut all of that out. Yeah, we got most of the seeds out of this one. So I want to be real quick with this. And this is where I would actually want to cut this relatively finely, just so we don't have any huge chunks of jalapeno in there. So it's more of an even heat distribution rather than a big chunk of fire all at once. Anyway, we have really fine chop with those jalapenos, so that's cooking along. We're just going to throw these in as well. Give that a stir. So what's happening now is a lot of that moisture is evaporating out, so the water content out of that turkey is coming out, so it's really starting to dry up and come along nicely. We're pretty much almost done now. Still have that crunch in the bell peppers, and the jalapeno has that nice crunch. The onions have softened out. So we're just about good. And last but not least, I like to add in some spring onion at the end. Nice little refreshing flavor. So this one, just cut it really thinly in the white section. You get some nice rounds just for presentation. And then as you get closer to the green, you can start expanding out that chop. And then just at the ends, I don't like to use that. Once it starts getting wilty, we'll just throw that out and not use it. So we have that ready to go. Keep stirring this around. So the heat has stayed on high, medium high for this whole time, and we're just about done here, coming up on the 30-minute mark from when I started the video to now. So really not that long at all. Really quick, easy recipe. Only took as many ingredients as you want. You just get some ground beef and then just throw in whatever vegetables you have lying around. It can't get any simpler than that. So we're just about done there. None of the meat. I just like to go make sure there's no uncooked meat section. And we're good. So now that they're all cooked, just right at the end, hit it with those spring onions just for that fresh flavor at the end, and you're all good. So what can you serve with this? You can serve this with some rice, some vegetables, some bread, obviously, some pasta. That's why I kind of like to leave these meat vegetable mixtures kind of on the lightly seasoned stage, because it gives you an open canvas to work on. So I could make this and then get some pasta sauce, put it in with some pasta sauce and some pasta, mix it up, and the flavors of this aren't really fighting with that from the pasta sauce. You can put it in a sandwich as well, make an omelet out of this. It's really super versatile because it's kind of a blank canvas for you to use in whatever recipe you want. So that about wraps it up. I'll post a recipe in the description below. I'll also post a link to the recipe on my blog, wynnstrength.com. So thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I'll leave a comment below if there's any more recipes that you would like to see, or any ideas that you have for future recipes. Thank you. This has been Selwyn from Wynn Strength, and remember, a better life through strength.